From what I understand about Islam, it is a monotheistic religion.
I know that Islam is very similar to Christianity.
For Islam, I don't know much about it firsthand. I have learned about it in classes.
There's a difference between learning about a religion in a classroom and learning about a religion in everyday life. And I'm excited to take what I've learned in the classroom to everyday life.
I know that they worship Allah. There's the Sunni and the Shiite Muslims. Their Bible is the Quran, and it shares some of the same stories that the Old Testament Bible has. We see Christianity and Islam as such a separate entity, but really they're so much together.
My feelings, I know there's a lot of unrest towards this group of people, but personally I have no reservations or negative feelings towards them. I understand that there are many peaceful Muslims, and they have a belief just like I do.
I think in America, most times, if you would see a Muslim person, at least for me, before I came, if I would see a Muslim person wearing a traditional Muslim outfit, I would instantly be scared. I would think, what are these people up to? And probably not up to something good, just as a negative stereotype. But here, there's so many Muslim people that I'm fairly close friends with, and they're wonderful people, and they're just some of the most welcoming and friendly, and I almost feel safer being here than I do in America.
I just feel really sad by the amount of ill will that these people receive. In our culture today, a lot of people attribute Muslims to terrorists, and that is not even close to what they are. I have met some of the most hospitable, kind people on this trip who are all Muslim.
Those who have had experience with Muslims and who've been able to get past the media's association of kind of the trappings with violence seem to have a much more respectful and friendly approach. Are actually astounded by Muslim hospitality. But it seems kind of the general populace, which is only consuming what is coming through Twitter and the news stations, the response seems to largely be just fear and fear, confusion, and ignorance.
When you're kind of ignorant about a situation, it's easy to blindly follow the things that you hear. So if you hear on the news and hear some terrorist bombings started from radical Islam members, it's easy to kind of fall into that camp of being scared because you don't know anything else.
I think that a lot of people, when they have their opinions, they don't have any facts to support it. A lot of people believe what they believe because of the one bad thing that one Muslim person did. And if we went about the world that way, if we went judging and giving reservations towards groups of people by what one person did, nobody would like anybody.
As a Christian, we are a minority in Indonesia, so it's really difficult. Anything that we do is always watching by community. So we, as a Christian, we need to do good testimony so they can watch that Christian is good. And then when they have invitation for, Muslim events, sometimes we are Christian invited by them, but we need to come. It is show our respect to them.
Demonstrating that wider American culture is not the culture of the kingdom of God, is a huge step forward in bridging the gap between Islam and Christianity. Because of a lot of the things that Islam is fighting against, it's not Christianity. It's the attack on morality from secular society that has been labeled as Christian.
The first step is still back to that idea of forming relationships and saying, we're not here to criticize you, we're here to love you, just as Jesus called us to. And then after that, I would assume people might want to hear, or maybe they'd be very turned off to it, we never know. But the first step would be the relationships, loving through our actions, not just through our words.
Getting along with them in daily life. I think that's a good way to build a good relationship. So when they trust us, it's easier for us to have testimony.
I think the biggest thing is more awareness of this religion. We need to be talking in schools about other religions and talking about how they're similar to us and how they're different to us, and just letting our children, letting people around us understand that.
We as Christians, of course, believe that Jesus is the one way, right? And there are a lot of things built into the Quran where it's very clear Jesus respected and he's honored. He's the only person who has never sinned. That's in the Quran. That is a great jumping off point.
Well, there's a lot of people with some really, really cool storytelling ministries of how they take Bible stories, turn them into the names of the people from Islam. So like Jesus in Islam is Isi al-Masa is the name for Jesus. So they write a story about Isi al-Masa, have it be loosely based around the Bible, but have the same message at the end. And we're like, yeah, okay, this sounds good. And then the more and more you do that, it's a bridge to the gospel. The way that Jesus taught, and just pretty much using that same style here to pretty favorable success for those people who are doing this full time.
Every time we went to a Muslim community, a Muslim school, any sort of people with Muslims there, we were always greeted with open arms. They were some of the nicest people that we met while we were there. They were very, very, very welcoming and appreciative for everything that we had to offer.
On our trip, we got to talk to Muslims about their religion and get to talk to them about our religion. It was really cool to be able to have that dialogue and to talk about our two different religions and what we believe, and to see similarities and to see differences, and to just really get to understand each other better.
Just like not all Christians are horrible humans, not all Muslims are horrible humans. We just need to love each other.
There are a lot of similarities, not only in the religion, but as people. We're all humans, and we just need to understand where they're coming from and why they believe what they would believe, because we're not going to respect them and we're not going to be able to bridge that gap until we understand them better, just like we would ask them to understand us as Christians.
I think it's really important for us to be able to continue to be cautious, but not let that caution prevent us from engaging with others and taking the time to get to know other people and do other really important things. A major way that I can bridge a gap is just by reaching out.